Hi, this is our daily tarot. We had two cards come in for the opening card today. We actually had the Chariot as well as the Four of Cups. Now, we just had a full moon yesterday. We had a lunar eclipse, partial lunar eclipse. I hope you all were able to see some of that, or at least take some time to meditate during that. It's a time of letting go and a deep time of revealing. Big epiphanies can happen during times of lunar eclipses because it can show us that inner work that we need to be doing inside of ourselves. Now, the Charioteer and the Four of Cups coming in as our opening cards for today are bringing up that quality of emotional contemplation and looking over not only the emotional situations that are in our lives, but also the possibilities of new things that are coming in. That's the Four of Cups. Now, the Charioteer, it is a major arcana, so it deals with some kind of life lesson we don't necessarily get choice over. And what it's looking at, because this is a Cancer-ruled card that's also governed by the moon, it's asking us to look at where we need to have discipline in our lives and where we need to take control and take the reins of our own nature and have more of a detachment from them so that we can really direct our ship by way of the mind. Now, looking at this card, you can see these two Sphinx type creatures that are in front of the Chariot, and they don't have any kind of reins or leashes on them, but they are this symbol of our desire nature and how we get pulled in different directions. And the Charioteer, it's all about, how do you guide your ship? How do you guide your chariot as you leave safety? And these are our opening cards for today because it's asking us, ultimately, if we are driving our carriage by things that we're called to emotionally and what that looks like. Now, the challenge that we're facing today is the Five of Pentacles. You guys, this card has shown up so many times in the last week. It kind of blows my mind. The Five of Pentacles is all about reevaluating our values and really making a choice on how to see a situation that from one vantage point looks as if it didn't work out in our favor, but really it's important to consider that life and the universe has an interesting way of looking out for us. So perhaps that situation that didn't work out was actually steering us out of a possibly problematic situation and back to ourselves. But this is all about how do we look at things, because ultimately, we may be upset that we didn't get the coin at the end of the day or get the reward or whatever it was that we had seen as the outcome of some situation. But we did get some kind of learning, and we are getting this chance of reflection in ourselves as perhaps the values that we have weren't necessarily in the same relationship, like compatibility with other people's values. I was probably dosed with dairy. Every time I'm dosed with dairy, I can't find my words. So that's an interesting thing to notice about yourself if you stay away from certain foods. When you get dosed and your brain does weird things. Woohoo! So aside from that, how we're going to get through the challenge of the Five of Pentacles today is the Empress. So the Empress is a card that's ruled by Venus. Consider that the lunar eclipse we had yesterday was a full moon in Taurus, which is governed by Venus. We have Venus now that's in its pre-retrograde shadow period. It's going to be going in retrograde here in a few weeks. And so this is asking us to put our roots down, to take care of ourselves, to mother ourselves, to nurture ourselves, and to know that wherever we put our intentions and our thoughts is ultimately seeding the universe to manifest something. So this is bringing up that mothering nature, that and that sense of nurturing and being of the world. And so it's reminding us, if you are in a place where you feel stuck in reevaluating a situation, perhaps it's time to get out of your head and instead go outside and put your feet on the ground and admire, the wind going through the trees and the leaves that are falling on the ground and the crunch of them underneath your footsteps, and take yourself into the sensory world and outside of just the mind. Now, the ultimate outcome that we have for today is the King of Cups. So this is a fixed water energy that's associated with Scorpio. interesting. The sun's in Scorpio. And so we have this energetic of like what is going on underneath the surface. You know, there's a lot. If we were to consider the ocean, there's a lot that's going on underneath the surface. And if we also consider this energetic of fixed water, it's almost like this energy of ice or coldness or unmoving water. And so what does it look like to shift that, right? To transform from this fixed water energy into perhaps, you know, the distillate energy, which is when we have rain and water coming down from the heavens. So there's this movement that it's kind of begging us to do, and it's calling us to transformation. So there's some kind of emotional thing that's been going on in our lives that likely we've been kind of stubborn or fixated on how we see that thing, and this is now starting to be transformed, likely because of these energetics between the sun and the moon being in Taurus, and also the fact that we have all this energy in Taurus with Uranus being there for the last couple of years. So we are undergoing a pretty big transformation and change, and it all starts with us and how we feel about things and how we see things. And believe me, you know, everyone is going through something right now in some capacity. So if we can hold space for each other, I think that's ultimately the most honorable thing we can do for one another, being that we are and have evolved to be emotional beings. I send you a good wish today and a big hug wherever you are in your process of transformation. If you need to reach out and get a little bit more clarity in what's going on with your astrology or want to look at getting your own tarot reading, feel free to reach out and we will schedule some time. Also, if you are interested in seeing the orb that I made for the lunar eclipse yesterday, I have that up on my Instagram at Roots of Alchemy. I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Mwah.